I think would kind of hinder that strategy or that plan for them. But the Novaria pickup, what do you think about the Novaria?
Has range, right? And also, it's not static. Feather Airstrike, static move, but Novaria has mobility in
Body
that sense.
suffers.
Baksha and as well as Benedetta though. It's gonna be the response. So mobility versus mobility. Now Geek Fam. Wow. Very fast pick. So they saw this pick and instantly picked up the Masha.
They want to make sure that Sans is going to get controlled completely. Okay, there you go. I was thinking like, wait, are they not going to swap there? But they do swap. Now the Farsa is going to be so vulnerable right here. The Masha can take him out. The Fredrin, if he can go and flank and catch him solo, can 1v1 him. And so can the Moskov. So you can go and start the Feather Airstrike and get hit by a Spear of Destruction and get completely demolished. That is something that Onyx have to keep into consideration. But when it comes to the mobility, and especially, of course, that global presence with the chip, Onyx has it again with the Benedetta as well as the Baksha. You're seeing this strat actually applied by Liquid Aura just in day one. Everyone being so versatile, so mobile, going around the map again and again. That is something that Geek Fam will definitely have to try and find a solution for. And so far, it has been very difficult.
So we'll see if it works out, ladies and gentlemen. The adjustments from both of these teams. We have Fnatic Onyx with the speed, with the global presence, but he picks up the Moskov this time around. Is this going to be the proper setup that they need? The proper winning conditions to succeed in game number 2 of this best of 5 between Fnatic Onyx and Geek Fam.
Keep your eyes peeled for early action, especially in the mid lane. We're seeing this trend where the mid laners are always just fighting for dominance, trying to find space and safe zones for their jungler. Look at that, Ludpi trying to be a bit aggressive, trying to threaten Ray, but you can see that he just takes a lot of damage, too much damage, and he'll be backing away. So if the idea for Onyx is to try and go for the jungler, so far doesn't look like that will be possible.
At this point, we're gonna also take a little look into the battle spells. Sans opted to go for the Purify. Keyboy gets chunked a little bit low there. Still gonna be able to retreat in that situation, but there it is, right? The mobility of the Farsa. But Rupture as his option here.
He wants that early game damage right here. And with the right setup, there's more than enough ways to really stun someone down. But in the grand scheme of things, these are very short stuns on the side of Fnatic Onyx. From the Benedetta, from the Baksha, as well as from the chip. There's no real long duration lockdown. So that's something that they have to be a bit careful about. Because for Geek Fam, they do have the Imo Pendant, and still, that's a more effective form of crowd control.
See here already. 10 seconds towards the first turtle bottom side. It's going to be a 1v1. CW and Chidera just trading. They're even. But yeah, Keyboy and Beloyski looking for 4 in that mid. It seems like very organic, very natural early phase here for both of the teams.
I think things are gonna start exploding at level 4, right? Because that Feather Airstrike will come at that. Keyboy will be able to open up the ultimate as well. But here it is. Sans?
Oh, whoa. Purify and Wings by Wing committed though. Feather Airstrike was also invested. Now take a look at top side, Ludpi as well as Luke. Going at it, Beloyski though quite low, and first blood will go to the hands of CW. Sans will be the trade, but now let's see here, Fnatic Onyx, they will try to contest this turtle. Ray has yet to get an objective in that first game. Will it be the same this time? Ray, my goodness, finds the first kill on him and also collects the double, but it will be just a trade because Kyrie will secure that neutral objective.
I mean, you called it, right? The inability for Sans to properly output the damage with the presence of all these sources of damage, all these risks, and at the end of the day, Luke was able to take him away, deny him away from that team fight. So they lost a few members there, but they were still able to claim that turtle. But all in all, that 3-1 trade, it's in favor of Geek.
Good immunity. Oh my goodness. Final blow to save Ludpi's life with the Feathered Airstrike. What a sequence there. Finds the kill.
The revenge from Sans, just being in the right position, reading the aggression coming in from Luke. It's a great moment for Onyx. But as you mentioned, Eterna, they have to be really careful right here. Even when they go with the shortcut, we saw earlier, they're unable to really get anything conclusive in those situations. They were able to get the neutral objective, but they have to try and find ways to keep Kairi ahead. Because we've seen the farming potential from this Fredrin. And of course, there's damage there. We saw earlier Keyboy getting bonked out immediately. Both teams are just waiting around, and I feel like the big moments are going to be coming from the shortcut.
Oh, good shortcut now. Valoisky, 4v1, will not be able to escape. Ray jumps in. Good taunt, but the damage is not there. Ray jumps in to his death. 2 members taken out, and Onyx, they are just controlling this time. Top lane again. Final blow just to clear it. Oh
Wow.
my goodness. Look with the juke. Top side.
What is going on? And it looks like Keyboy gonna dish out some damage here onto Boy in the top side. But a 1v4 situation. Ray, what outcome was he expecting there? There was absolutely no follow-up from the rest of the teammates as well. And then Ludwig gets even more value in the top side. It's chaos.
It's an all-out brawl. Not what we were expecting at all, at least yesterday. Ray, though, this is the problem with going up against a Pharsa with a sustained fighter. There's no time at all before you get completely nuked by the Feather Airstrike. And that outplay, man, Ludpi just shows again that he is not backing away, but look at Keyboy.
Yep, now wants to engage. Flickers out though, as Geek Fam members are visually shown in the map. Kairi taking his time to take this turtle, but take a look at Keyboy in the backside, trying to force a spell, but Valoisky will be out. CW secures the kill. Ray now will be the next target as Luke is just hiding now. Ray is receiving heat. CW though will be taken out surely, but oh my goodness, good cover as CW survives that one.
That was such great backup, and now Fnatic Onyx, they pick up the turtle as well. That was a 4-0 trade basically. 3+1 turtle. But again, the backup coming in from Onyx onto CW, that should have been him dead. And this is a snowballing Roger. 4-0-2, 3K gold lead.
It's the flanks, man. Geek Fam, they just can't establish a proper front line. And if they want to go all in for a big dive, they just haven't found the right moment to do so because they are outmaneuvered every single time. And of course, the 1v1, Ludwig here goes for it again.
It was Ludwig outplaying Luke top side earlier, but now Sans with the
Fancy
jukes
feet.
from Luke from that feathered airstrike. Now bottom side of the map though, 3v1, 4v1. Keyboy will not be able to escape, but Sans and CW pops from the shortcut as well as Kairi. Will they be able to find blood? Ray now isolated in front side. Valoisky looking for a cover, but no. Ray will be the trade for Keyboy.
No, you're not allowed to take down my Keyboy. I don't care if it's a 2v, 3v4 situation, we're still gonna get it traded back, and they do. The fact that Geek went running for the hills as soon as they saw Sans and CW, it just speaks volume to the dominance that they're currently holding right now.
It's just so dangerous the way Onyx is playing. They're relying on the speed and the damage. They know that there isn't a full-on solid tank hero on the side of Geek Fam. There isn't a Uranus, there isn't a Barats, so they just keep going for maneuverability and more burst damage with the Pharsa. And even if you look at the itemization from CW, he's going with the Endless Battle for an extra chunk of just big damage. So in these short engagements, I think Geek Fam has to be very, very careful.
3 seconds before Turtle. Top lane though, it's 2v1. Oh, 4v1. But it's all for naught. Luke finds the space to escape. Kairi, CW versus 4 members of Geek Fam now. Let's see, Astrolife go committed. Ray finally collects his first neutral objective, but Valoisky will fall now. Fnatic Onyx, they want war. Ray and Chidera caught. Flickers out, perhaps here, no. Chidera used the Purify. Sounds quite low, but Ray, taunted, will not save his life though. He will be taken out as well.
2 levels below, by the way, Ray. Still able to get that neutral objective.
That was the team just committing towards it immediately. And that shows again for Onyx. They can go for a play on the top side and somehow make it back in time to the bottom side as Luke takes a lot of damage. I have to say, man, that chip, that's a surprising amount of damage for a roamer that builds full tank. It's a bit unfair, I must you know, in my opinion.
Chip is broken.
Kind
The
of.
shielding is huge. The damage is there. Well, look at this. Lutfi again.
Yep. For round 3 perhaps, but no, this time it's not going to be a clean 1v1. The home members of Fnatic Onyx will help Lutfi out. Luke will go down for the 4th time this game. Now let's see shortcut. Oh my goodness. Bottom side, Beloyski caught, stunned. Feather Airstrike forced Beloyski to use the flicker, but Geek Fam, they will not lose another. And Fnatic Onyx gain nothing from that shortcut.
The Pharsa isn't really able to just stand there and do damage reliably, but what it is causing is for Geek Fam to immediately back away, almost on reflex, because they know that the Feather Airstrike is coming. The fact that every single time, even though there isn't a big stun or a big setup, Sans is very willing to just pop out that Feather Airstrike. It just kind of forces Geek to react faster, and because of that, make more mistakes. The thing we're talking about, where they seem to be struggling a bit more when they are forced into weird, fast-paced games, like we saw with RRQ in game number 3 and 4. With the Lightning Truncheon already completed, Sans, he's definitely able to just one-shot a Boy and Chidera, so that zoning potential is very much there. The game plan is very simple. Go in with the portal, and then set up for the Feather Airstrike, and see if Geek wants to force a fight in the middle of the artillery.
And it just becomes too chaotic for them, right? They have to process so many things at once, and especially now, CW, how many items does he have? If I'm not mistaken, he just picked up the GDS?
Yep. 3 items already.
Well, there are 3 items in the hands of Chidera as well, but that GDS is going to be massive, because you see how Geek is playing. They're trying to outrun and outmaneuver Fnatic Onyx, and the thing is, they're just way too mobile. Now CW can also follow in with everyone, as Beloyski goes for a concealed play but does not find anyone.
Meanwhile,
Luke
more
again.
mobilization here from Onyx.
Will he go for? Will he go down for the 5th time?
Ooh.
Seems like CW will be sealing his fate. Goes down for the 5th time. Turtle is up, unenhanced. Let's see here, Fnatic Onyx, how will they go about this? Bottom side is actually benefiting Geek Fam for now.
My question is, how do Geek want to play this, right? They're a man down right now. Do they try and buy some time? Looks like Kiber want to force it, though.
Yep. Feather Airstrike also here early towards Beloyski. Beloyski flickers out of that fight. Lord still here, chunked, 4,000 HP left. Ray looking for the steal, no. Fnatic Onyx denies it, but Keyboy taken out by a boy from 3 there. And that's Geek Fam finding a trade. 2 members actually taken out.
That is a trade onto Lutfi as well as Keyboy, but remember, Fnatic Onyx still hold on to the Lord. But that extra space that they have with the man advantage has given them that mid-side turret, and it looks like they're eyeing for more. Smelling out the buff right now, but he's alone. Has he used the retribution? He has. He doesn't want to go for it, he backs off, and CW will be able to claim it.
Good stun here, but Geek Fam will try to cover Ray out. Kyrie, soaking damage. CW also forced to back away very low there. But Fnatic Onyx, they will not really commit with the 6th man, all right? It's still the first Lord, it's a whatever Lord in Geek Fam. Take a look at their mid though. Still 3 base, well, 3 turrets still standing.
Well, Geek were able to get a surprising amount of turrets right there. I think Onyx kind of were forced to go for a fight because they know there was a massive wave on the bottom side, like you mentioned, Gani. But now with the Lord coming in, Onyx are trying to get value out of it. Oh, 1v1 on the bottom side though.
Technically, they're round 2. Oh, Flicker! Petrify though committed as well. Lutfi.
Keyboy's coming?
Oh my goodness, Kyrie, Keyboy looking for the jukes here. Luke quite low. But Spear of Destruction connects both the EXP laners down. And with that trade, it's just going, yeah, they both disengage.
They trade EXP laners for EXP laners, but Lutfi nearly got out. Keyboy, however, in a no man's land.
1v4, he's stuck. No way out, and Geek Fam punish Keyboy.
Trading his life for a turret, kind of worth it, but at the same time, usually you would expect a more calm and calculated Onyx. They seem to be a bit more scrambly right now, just reacting for a lot of these fights. They still have the control though. Their whole game plan of just going in with the portal and then threatening Geek from far away hasn't really been solved just yet. And to make things worse, Luke 1 and 6 right here. If Geek wanna let him farm up and kind of match up 1v1 against Lutpi, it's gonna take quite a while. As we take a look at the gold distribution here between CW and Chidera, CW is still definitely getting a lot more resources, and you can see again that the jungle creeps are what is allowing CW to just be a lot more economical with his in-game gold.
And with that being said, is there still a way for Chidera to come back here? Because technically, like Gani mentioned earlier on, that he has his items ready. So what does he need? Does he need just proper setup from the team? And if they do need proper setup, what is the proper setup against this combination that Fnatic Onyx has brought?
It's almost they have to try and make a play happen and not wait for the portal. But Luke, once again, rematch, relentless.
But Lutpi knows his calculation, right? Always. Oh, Keyboy this time will engage Voloisky though. Again with the defensive flicker from his side. And GeekFam, they do not want business. Stick it to the Lord though. Fredrin is actually poking the Lord.
Ooh.
But yeah, CW, last item collected. For the airstrike on towards Ray. Oh my god, the damage will be enough to take him down. Now Voloisky looking for another counter engage, but he will fall to the hands of CW. Double for that Roger.
That was a 1-4-2 trade. What was Ray doing as well? He was committing so further in without any backup up until that point. And the trade back is again not worth it for Geek.
They just feel pressure to make a play happen right there. And now, to be fair, they have a situation where they don't have the junglers though. So it's a waiting game. But in the middle of all that, if I'm not mistaken here, GeekFam lost the base tower on the top side. That was a very costly situation, and now they're trying to salvage it, but Sans is low, but he's still in the fight.
He's a juicy target. Spear of Destruction connects, but Chidera will not commit on towards the fight. Now, Lord will somehow be controlled by Chidera. Ray is already back in the game, so it's an even game except the map control and the economy. Concealed by Keyboy, looking for engage off angle, shortcut also puts, good petrified by Lutpi in the backside. Chidera quite low, half HP. But take a look at Lutpi now being the target. Luke takes him down. Now the Lord will go to the hands of Fnatic Onyx. Oh! It's actually Ray who finds the Lord. And take a look at the speeds of the destruction, finding another mark as well. 3 members of Onyx, they're down.
A rising star indeed from Geek. He was a level below of Kyrie, still able to get that neutral objective, and with 3 members taken down, Voloisky is looking for more, and the siege continues.
Luckily, Onyx has Sans with the feather edge strike, was able to clear that wave, and GeekFam, they understand that there are going to be no more objectives, so they back off and wait for the Lord.
Great move from Geek. This is what they just love doing. Pressure for the Lord and go for a drawn-out fight every single time. With the spammable nature of the spells of Voloisky compared to Keyboy, with the fact that everyone is already gathered anyways, the chip loses value, and when it comes to damage output, you can see the difference with Chidera and CW. CW is going for a very heavy burst damage build. After the GDS, he went for the Blade of Despair and the Rose Gold Meteor. He just wants to go for all the executes, the cleanup after the big fight. Whereas for Chidera, he's a full-on damage dealer. He went in for the Malefic Roar, and he has the Wind of Nature as well. So when it comes down to a full-on 5v5, right now, with Geek getting the gold advantage, Onyx are the ones who have to try and force themselves to try and find some kind of pickoff.
TW's at 12-0-2, by the way. 12-0-2. He's a monster.
Question is, will they be able to defend? Kyrie very low. Astro Recall does not connect here. Now Ray looking for the zone on towards Keyboy. Keyboy, half HP, looking for an escape route, and it seems like GeekFam, they want the mid. Is it too greedy? Seems like for now, Fnatic Onyx, they managed to clear that wave. Oh my lord, Luke, that damage was incalculable. Sans taken out. Now let's see here, Voloisky quite low as well. They want this fight. Oh my goodness. Take a look at Chidera doing a CW on towards CW.
No way.
Chidera, will they be able to end this game? Top side will be taken out. Kyrie, Keyboy, and Lutpi. Will they be able to clear this wave? Rave looking for an engage. Keyboy looking to cover. seems like for now, Fnatic Onyx, they will not have Keyboy. 2v4. Minions have not crashed into the base just yet. It seems like Ludwig is very low. It seems like the damage will not be enough to take him down. And Fnatic Onyx, they survived that wave.
I would have thought for sure that would have been the end of it. But ladies and gentlemen, the defending champions are still in it to win it with a successful defense earlier on. But man, that play by Chidera, the spear into the backside, seeing that CW was low, was able to take him down. That was the moment where I was like, is this the end for Fnatic Onyx?
And look at Geekfam immediately going for the Lord. Onyx are scrambling to try and find something, but they're going to be forced into a fight.
Kyrie taunted everything. Oh, take a look at the damage. Shadira almost takes him down. And Luke also just being a constant nuisance towards CW, zoning him out. And that's going to be a free Lord for Ray.
They're controlling the objectives so well. What do you think here? I mean, Ray so far in game number 1 wasn't able to pick up most of the objectives. In game number 2, it feels like the setup from the rest of the team is enabling that, facilitating that Geek have come back in this game. That's early snowball that Fnatic Onyx had built gets immediately turned around in this 20th minute of the game. And look at this, that inhibitor turret in the mid lane, it just falls.
A situation reminiscent of game 1 between EVOS and Liquid Aura just yesterday. The high mobility worked in the early game, the burst damage helped them out. But now in the late stages of the game, they are lacking in damage. And a Luke!
Oh my goodness, Luke! Finds CW, and Ludwig falls as well. The firepower for a defense seems like it's just overwhelming, and game number 2 will fall to the Kingslayers.
It's not just Onyx that have come prepared for the playoffs. The Kingslayers have as well. What a performance by the rest of the members. Chidera with the Moskov, the way he utilized the spear, the way that Luke utilized this Masha pick to disrupt in the stage of the game. What a comeback by the Geeks.
Wow.
They're showing again when it comes to the late game, the patience, the shot calling in a split second. We thought that they were overwhelmed, that Fnatic Onyx were gonna just take the game and run with it. But they recovered, and they just patiently waited for all their late game tools that require items, the Masha, the Moskov, the Novaria, to finally come back online. And they have equalized against Fnatic Onyx, against a lot of people's expectations. The untouchable Kings, losing one game.
They have managed to equalize the series to 1-1. And wow, what a performance by the Geek members, I gotta say. Chidera, when they were able to just facilitate him, it's done.
Gonny just looks shook though. You okay, Gonny?
It's 1-1, hey! I'm chill.
He's chill, guys, of course.
Still chill, it's still a best of 5.
It's still a best of 5, it's the upper brackets as well.
It's the upper brackets as well.
But you can see in the face of the supporters so far,
Yeah.
you just realize it's about to get real.
That was so entertaining to watch, man.
That was a fun match.
I love the layer of resources that were allocated by Geek and that instinctual moment by Luke when he goes in. We saw 2 instinctual moments. We saw an instinctual moment by Chidera and we saw one by Luke towards the later stage of the game when they went in for the siege, right? They were able to take CW down first. He's like the main defender up until that point, right? At that point, Sans already utilized the Feather Airstrike, so he couldn't go for the clear. That was already wasted. All they could rely on was the wave clear from the rest of the skills of Sans or CW with that constant damage, but CW was completely eliminated. A boy was able to get the sphere in first into CW. He was forced back, but before he was able to get into the base, Luke came in. So beautiful.
That late game Masha. We haven't seen a lot of teams
Yeah.
go back to it after that certain week where everyone was hyping it up. But Luke, out of nowhere, man. The MVP presented to you by our official tournament smartphone, the Samsung Galaxy series.
I think this Masha last pick just won them the game, right? Against Farsa, sure, against I want to say a glass cannon Roger as well. Very, very just juicy targets, two juicy targets. And Luke, towards the later stages, provides that damage and accuracy towards the composition of Onyx.
And that answers the question again where we're asking about, whoa, Farsa? Is it
Yeah.
too vulnerable? Well, he got deleted instantly in his own base out of nowhere. So there are moments like that that you kind of have to expect, especially against a team as dangerous as Geek Fam. I was honestly wondering towards the late game, where is this, the big advantage they had over Geek Fam was that global presence with the shortcut. So where was that? Why was it not being used? I initially thought that maybe you can kind of send, the way Baloyski does it, send the chip to a faraway lane with someone. That way you can just go with a shortcut. But at the same time, maybe they were a bit concerned because there wasn't any other front line except for Keyboy. That's what we're talking about in day one, right? When you want to have a utility, whether it's crowd control, whether it's a portal, you have to have someone else to take away the burden of tanking as a front line.
That was a problem, right? I mean, the only person they had left was the Boxia. The Benedetta earlier on was great. Really fast, Clear was able to mobilize around the map quick as well. The Jukes as well, very expensive to buy the time. And this
That play
was
was
a
sick.
beautiful 1v1. And we actually saw a few 1v1s, but at the end, he had to call in some reinforcements and make it uneven.
It almost feels like Onyx were kind of feeling the urgency to really try and end out the game. Of course, it is reasonable because they do not scale as good. And here you can see, again, there are moments here where Geekram were still able to get close fights even though they were behind. And it's always when there's a big flank happening, either from Ludpi or from Keyboy towards the back line. So when the Color members are just strong enough to hold their ground and instead turn the aggression towards the members of Fnatic Onyx instead, it's a whole different story. So it almost feels like they could have played a bit more patient, lock Geekram in their base and wait for the next big lord to try and have some backup to end the game. But this play, Chadera fearlessly coming in, knowing he has the wind of nature. You're talking about his aggressive instincts awakened in Season 13. You're seeing it really proven in the playoffs right now.
And even here, right? Sans eliminated. Oh, this was a beautiful moment by Chidera again as well. I just love what we're seeing, especially since yesterday. It's like that instant adaptability from these players that we didn't really see in the regular season. Evos, for example, and now Geek as well. It's really ramping up to maybe a full best of 5 here.
Ooh, I'm all for that.
20 minutes.
It'll be cool. I mean, both these teams are known to just be comfortable in these long marathons of a match. I think what's very impressive from Geek Fam though is that for the longest time, everyone is talking about Fnatic Onyx always having the very impressive individual skill. Macro-wise as a team, they're very solid of course, but individually, they can make the crazy outplays happen, right? But in this game, you're seeing some individual plays at least being attempted, and sometimes you can see individual playmaking from the side of Geek Fam, and they're not worried to try and do it against a team that's known to be generally better than the other teams in doing so. So the play from Chadera to go in the back line, the play from Luke to just immediately go in for a massive dive. I like the decisiveness and how they're kind of saying to Onyx, like, okay, you can do solo plays, we can do that too.
Exactly. That's why I thought it was brilliant. It was instinctual, but it was also calculated, right? Because if they attempted that at the wrong time with the wrong calculations, that would have been so bad for the team.
And if you look at the items right here, CW, talking about calculated aggression. In the beginning, it was enough, right? The calculations for damage is enough to actually get him a 12 and 0 KDA ratio. But as the game goes on, his choice of build just makes him lose out in damage output. Very different to Brands, who we saw went for that same full attack speed, shred late game build on that Roger when he knows